Hello everyone, we're back from the fan stands with another video. Today it's just me and Mohsin. First of all, we'd like to apologize for the delay in the videos because of the New Year season. We've been really busy with both work and we've been because of the winters.
Winters
Part of our
and
team has been down.
was down with flu.
Yeah, down with flu. Karachi winters are pretty bad.
Very bad.
So we're missing Dayan again because of that. So let's start with the videos for this week. We're covering in this video we're going to be covering the upcoming matches for again the big teams of the Premier League. So let's start off with Manchester United. Manchester United is going to go up against Norwich at home,
Old
I
Trafford,
believe.
yes.
At home, I believe, in this coming week, and then immediately in the midweek they're playing Wolves, and next week they're playing Liverpool. So, what do you think, Mohsin? How do you think the Manchester United is going to fare?
Well, Hassan, things are looking very good for Manchester United at the moment. I mean, they failed to beat Wolves in the FA Cup. I
Yeah.
think, although that was away, but a humiliating 3-1 thrashing against Manchester City at home. And, they haven't been active in the January transfer window so
At all,
far.
yes.
I mean, there were a lot of rumors that Erling Haaland might be coming to Manchester United. He might be the savior to and link up with that front with that in that attack,
Yeah.
and might be the answer to the goals which Manchester United are lacking on consistent basis. But he decided his agent, Mino Raiola now, he said in the past week that he will ensure that his agents do not join or play for Manchester United. So, that's a loss for Manchester United and a gain for Borussia Dortmund, where Erling
Definitely.
Haaland has signed a contract till 2024. Now, the problem is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I mean, Diane's a big fan of him. He supports him. He says that he needs time and he should be back. I agree, he should be back. He needs time, but the problem is at the moment United is going nowhere.
Yeah, but sorry, continue.
Continue.
Yeah, United is not going anywhere, but the problem is that he's not being backed. Half the team is like under 25. Most of them are injured. So what can he do?
See, my argument here is yes, they're under 25, they're injured. I can understand. Injuries, yes, you can do nothing about it. But the problem is that, see, it's beyond Oli, to be honest. It is beyond him. This is behind what is going on in that dressing room, and I'm talking about the management. It is not only Ed Woodward, it is the owners as well. I mean, they have to wake up, they have to open up their eyes that, since Woodward's at Manchester United in the past 5-6 years, and they've not been doing so smart in the transfer market. I mean, they're trying to just I think win some market shares and just trying to go for names, and they don't realize that which player suits our need at the moment, which player does United need who can lift them up
Hmm.
and pull them away from the situation.
Hmm.
I think the way things are. I think Oli is in contention to get the sack, and I don't think Woodward or the management board knows that what is the next step they need to take to ensure that United can escape from this web of disaster at the moment.
Yeah, that's true. And injuries have been playing them really
Injuries
well.
have been playing. Sorry,
Maguire is injured. Pogba's
one
injured
point
again.
I was stressing upon is that, see, Oli. The problem with Oli as well is, I mean, we don't see that style with him. I mean, sometimes with the same squad, Now you're a United fan.
Yeah.
You can argue if you want the same squad 1 week or 2 matches. They play with a very aggressive intent.
Definitely.
They play as if I mean,
They're world beaters.
the world beaters. But that same squad, I mean, before the injuries took on a massive scale, I mean that same squad is just doing nothing, just sitting back. And at times, I don't see that passion from Oli on that touchline.
Hmm.
Now, Dayan might, hey, if he was here, he would heavily disagree, but you need something. Now,
And he'll probably, dream at me for not disagreeing with you.
some say everyone has their own opinion. I might be wrong, but see, now Jurgen Klopp, some United fans, they all talked to me. We've discussed that Klopp was given time. But Hassan, if you see a manager like Klopp when he came in, you could see the difference. I mean, the team, that same squad who was struggling, who was in a very bad position under Brendan Rodgers in 2015.
Hmm.
The same squad, yes, they lost the final, but they at least reached the Europa Cup final. And you wouldn't have thought that the team without Suarez would be progressing so far.
Hmm.
So Klopp did something. I know Oli can do a lot. He has a lot to offer, but I just think it might not be with this Manchester United side. He might have to try somewhere else. Not now, but maybe in the near future.
So you think that although this week they're facing up against Norwich, but next week since they're facing Liverpool, so
See, as much as being a Liverpool fan, the one thing, I mean, with all due respect, if you're competing for the title for the league against Manchester United, it's very difficult.
hmm.
And I think we're lucky that Manchester United aren't the ones competing, because they've been past masters. They've shown in the past that no matter how much lead you have, Ferguson always found a way to get those wins and to cut down the lead and take the league away from your own hands.
Yeah.
But the thing is, where are they going? I mean, it's January right now. They might lose two of their players. Ashley Young is on his way to Inter Milan.
Yeah.
And I think one other player who's also linked with the move away from Old Trafford.
Lingard is also moved.
Lingard is also, I mean, Lingard, yes, now come Lingard. I think it would be good for Manchester United to actually sell Lingard off. I mean, he's provided nothing.
Hmm.
He's starting games every week. Yes, he must have had potential or something. That is why he became a first team player, but he has nothing to offer.
Yeah.
Now they have
he
to.
has been hitting a really bad patch for the past few
Really
months.
bad patch. And even if I saw his numbers, I mean, he scored 10, 15 goals in past 4 or 5 seasons as an attacking player, and he's had 17, 18 odd assists. But as an attacking player, you're leading the attack right now. You're playing behind the main striker, which is Rashford right now. You should provide more. You should have some numbers in the last one year to back yourself, to justify a position in the team, and he's not being able to do so.
Yeah.
And they have to bring in someone in the transfer market.
Especially defensively, I believe Harry Maguire is also injured now. Phil Jones, as we all know and seen again
Phil Jones
against
is
City.
absolutely terrible. I mean,
Yeah, I think he got injured in the match as well.
It's
So
a blessing that he's not injured, because
and Paul Pogba was again injured.
He was being
McTominay is again injured. So
yeah, McTominay is a very big loss. Very big loss. I think for me, he is Manchester United's player of the season so far, and
him
he's
and Fred,
young.
yeah.
Him, Fred, and Daniel James. But the problem is that with him out, Fred alone cannot do much. Okay.
Yeah.
And Fred is not also very consistent again. The problem with Phil Jones, I mean, being schooled by Riyad Mahrez in that Carabao
City
Cup
game.
match.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was absolutely shameful. I mean, if you could see Alex Ferguson from the stands, I mean, he must be thinking, to be honest.
Why did I praise this guy
I mean,
so much?
Yeah, no, not even that. I mean, he must be saying to him, these 11 in the team, I mean, how are they playing for the glorious club which I built, which which he made it into world beaters, the best team. I mean, they have a lot of followers because of Ferguson. Manchester United today is everything because of Sir Alex Ferguson.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there are a lot of problems. Even De Gea at times, he comes up.
He hasn't been the best keeper this season.
Hasn't been the best keeper. He's a personal favorite of mine. I always consider him to be the best, one of the best in the world. But he has his howlers and he can let in goals. Although yes, again I feel it is at home. Manchester United have a good chance to win, but then again Norwich have a few players who are in good form, like Todd Cantwell, their midfielder.
Yeah, and also United recently hasn't had the best of forms
Haven't
against the relegation team.
Best of form. Yes,
They lost to Watford as well.
Yes, when they played Norwich away a few months ago, I thought that Norwich might win.
Yeah.
And they played really well in that match at Carrow Road. They won this time, but I think it's going to be a draw. I mean, the way things are going, and a draw at this point, it's almost like a compliment to Manchester United.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, I go with the same prediction because United's really been hit with injuries. especially in defensive, and Pogba's been injured as well.
Yeah, Pogba, did you see his
Again.
Instagram
Yeah,
video now?
yeah, I did.
I mean, he's not serious at the moment.
Yeah, but he was high.
He was high with anesthesia or whatever, but see, what is the point of making a video like this? Your club is in trouble at the moment, you're not doing well. Hassan, what do you think as a Manchester United fan? Where do you think the problem lies? I mean, you have my perspective, but you're a United fan, the answer.
In my opinion, it's basically the fact that you've got such a young and inexperienced team who haven't won anything. So when it comes to the big leagues, big matches, if the manager pushes them, they say they understand that they need to perform. But in the middle games or in the small games, they're like they don't really have that intensity. Or if the other team is really on the back foot and staying back, they don't really have the game. They don't really know how to break teams down. They don't have that experience.
Especially those minnows, the smaller teams.
Yeah.
I mean, they play with a very narrow defense.
So they don't have an experience to how to break those down.
How to break? I mean, they have a player like Mata who has experience. The problem is Mata and Matic, both of them are losing legs, and
and Matic is also linked to a move as well.
Yeah, you should. I mean, these are players you cannot go with them on a long term. You cannot rely on Ashley Young, on Phil Jones, on Mata, on Matic.
Although Phil Jones is pretty young.
He is only 27, but he's in the lowest category at the moment.
He's in the form of his life.
The opponents, that is, I don't know what to say. I mean, they have a lot to do. They have the board, they really need to, the owners really need to step in now.
Although, recently it has been said that, United has been having problems going up front, but all four, I'd say, of their upfront players, James, Martial, Rashford and Greenwood, have all performed really well.
See, they've performed well, but the thing is, you cannot expect these four to do everything. They need supply. They cannot control the goalkeeping errors. They cannot control the defense. They cannot control that midfield. Now, Daniel James, he is fairly young. It is his first season at Manchester United, his first season in the Premier League. He's been impressive, yes, and there's still a long way to go.
And Greenwood has been really...
Greenwood looks like a very good prospect.
Definitely.
But obviously very young to lead the attack right now. Rashford looks a different player, looks a much improved player. I'm someone who struggled to score beyond 10 goals, as I think got 16 goals already.
I think it's now 18 in all competitions.
So he's done well.
Yeah.
Martial,
and he got the captaincy in the last match as well.
Okay, well that's nice. That's something encouraging, but then again he's still fairly inexperienced to at least lead, but he will learn with time. And Martial, good player, but sometimes when he's in the mood, he's one of the best.
Yeah, he's got really good finishing.
He has very good finishing, but obviously you cannot solely. He's someone who can give you 30 goals, but he hasn't found that rhythm. Hasn't got his game going the way we expected it. When he first played for Manchester United 4 years ago.
Okay. All right. So let's move on to another team. So let's move on to Liverpool right now. The other Reds. So on top, they're I believe 13 points ahead with a game to spare. With Leicester chasing their tails. 13 points to go. So this week, and City's 14 points. So this week, they're playing Tottenham away. Tottenham at White Hart Lane. And Mourinho, when he came on to Tottenham, for a couple of matches Tottenham really looked good and everything. But recently they've been having a bad run of games a few times, and they've had a few draws recently as well in other competitions as well. So what do you think of the chances of Liverpool again coming out on top?
The thing is, usually Mourinho at any club and you're playing away against him, the odds of winning coming out on top are very rare. But the thing is, it is something not impossible because an inexperienced manager like Frank Lampard, he found a way and he did it. And at the moment, I think the advantage lies with Liverpool is because they have the momentum with them.
Yeah.
They managed to rest the key players in that FA Cup match against Everton,
And still won.
and they still won. So the momentum is with them. I mean, only one draw and all wins
In
right
the
now.
whole year.
And that is amazing. That is amazing. I mean, even I was one of the biggest critics when I used to say that if Klopp misses a player or two and those players from the bench come on to play instead of the first regular starters, so Liverpool will struggle. Yes, at times it did look like that in October and November, if you remember. But
But they
since
still put out a
yeah,
result.
they've always churned out results, and since December they looked a very different side,
Yeah,
and they look more in confidence.
I'd say Naby Keita's coming into the
The
side has
problem, the
really
problem,
changed.
yeah, he's a very good player. Someone who was supposed to break defenses to control that midfield, pull the strings. Unfortunately, he's injured. He's often injured. He got injured again. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, he's starting to look good, but then again, he's also often not being able to play regularly.
Yeah, he's again.
Lallana's Klopp is trying to convince him to at least stay on for a season or so, but he probably will. He wants to leave in the summer. He has somewhat experience, so the players are there, and the acquisition of Minamino very important, to ease off that load for the front three, so he can come in. Obviously, he's new. He needs time. He's only played one match.
Yeah.
So if you talk about Mourinho and Liverpool's chances, why I say Liverpool are favourites, because you might, if you're not aware, Harry Kane is injured with a hamstring, and they're missing regular left backs like Rose as well as Ben Davis. So they have to make with a makeshift left back. Most probably Vertonghen is going to go on the left
Again.
and he's slow. And Mane and Salah, if they can attack him, so he's going to struggle, because when Daniel James did the same,
Yeah.
he had no clue against his pace.
And Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Trent Alexander-Arnold. I mean, he's been
is
the
on the
best player
same. Yeah.
for this month for Liverpool. I mean, amazing. He's coming off age very early right now.
Yeah, he's
and,
probably been voted the best right back in the world.
Yeah, he is. Hassan, if you remember, I told you a few months ago that he's an upcoming talent,
Yeah.
and he's maturing very quick. He's coming from the academy. He came in from the academy, so that is a good sign for the club, and so he can also cause problems on that right hand side, on the left hand side for Spurs.
Yeah.
So coming from the right, expect a lot of attack from that left side where Vertonghen is going to be. And I expect Mourinho, because he doesn't know his own best squad right now.
Yeah.
And he has a lot of injuries as well. So he's probably going to go play defensive and try to attack go on that counter.
Yeah, but going defensive against the best front three right now, and especially Salah's really found his game again. Firmino scoring finally, and Mane is also
Mane, yes,
really,
he just won the African Player of the Year yesterday. So personal accolade added to his achievement as well. The thing is, what Mourinho will try to do, he'll have a back four, and he has his two players in that midfield like Dyer, and I think Sissoko is also injured. So Dyer and Ndombele, they're also going to support.
and Ndombele is like he doesn't want to play for Mourinho, I believe.
I don't know. I think he's a good signing. He's a good player. Looks like a good player. He came from Lyon, I believe.
But yeah, he's like, I don't want to play for Tottenham.
Well, I don't know. I'm not aware, but he's probably going to start. That is what I predict. And expect the back four to have support from these two. So he's trying to he's going to try and narrow down spaces for this front three, especially Firmino, because he's the main supplier. Firmino, because he plays a bit deep for a striker. He links with that mid.
And
he's going and he's going to try and provide the balls in the mid to Mane and Salah on the wings. So they're going to try and be very defensive, narrow down, and expect the front to also come in the back. So Son or Lucas Moura might be isolated, at the front, and expect Liverpool to play a very high line. Van Dijk, Matip is fit again, but I
think Gomez is playing really well.
Yeah, Gomez is also playing well, so Matip is also fit, and Fabinho is also coming back to fitness. I'm not sure if they'll be rushed into playing 11, and Arnold and Robertson are definitely going to come and attack as well.
Definitely.
So the only way I can see Spurs, actually getting a goal. I mean, anything can happen. If you remember in the reverse fixture, they scored right from the kickoff. But
Yeah.
I mean, the counter attack is the best way for Mourinho to tackle Liverpool.
So what do you think? Would it be a draw or?
I think it's going to be a Liverpool win. Might sound bit arrogant, but I think a 2-0 Liverpool win should be. I mean, the way things are going right now.
Yeah, because Liverpool, even if they lose, they lose 5 games and still win the rest, they still win the league,
I want them,
regardless of what Leicester
I
or
want
City
them to
do.
lose right now. Maybe when they're very close to a title. But
Yeah, so I don't see the way the form is going. They didn't lose a single game during this winter season. Although
Amazing,
they had
amazing.
those injuries, they had so many games to play, so much traveling. They still got the results done. So I see them going all out again. Liverpool's been in the form of their lives.
Should. I mean, players
They're-
are well rested. No
Yeah.
excuse this time. I mean, he all had a very different starting 11 in the FA Cup against Everton, and that too was on Sunday.
Yeah.
So they have had a full week of rest and training. So I think Klopp and his boys should be ready to go for this one.
Yeah, same here. I believe it would be a 1-0 or 2-0 win to Liverpool. So I guess that's about it for the video.
Do comment, do like, share, and subscribe, and let us know what are your predictions for the upcoming matches. Manchester United fans, what do you think is going to happen now? Do you see Ole, leaving the club? Because the way things are going,
Yeah.
Although
Although United has come up to 5th.
They have come up to 5th, but
Amazing run.
can they be consistent enough to maintain that position? I mean, 5th, I mean, to be honest, even if they finish 5th, that is an achievement on its own. But I feel sad about Solskjaer. I mean, he's a young manager, he's just started and be in this situation. But let's see, time will tell. He'll definitely learn a lot from this.
Yeah, I feel it's not really up most. We both agree. All three of us agree. It's not really his fault. It's
Sorry,
the
his fault,
circumstances.
but the
that
problem is
that
that the club cannot continue to limp off like this every season.
Yeah,
I mean,
something needs to change.
They're a top club. They should be there in the top 4 competing for the league.
Yeah, definitely. So do remember to like and share the video, subscribe to our channel, leave us comments. What do you think? And I guess that's about it.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Nafis.